Hey everyone. About half hour ago, I just checked the Selby forums, and there's a new title. I wanted to get into that, so I made a post on a message board about this, and a lot of this is going to be me reading it because I already did this pretty long post. Makes sense to just have some kind of a script. Then after that, I'll go off from there. So here we go. I was originally excited to find out that the title for August 5th's episode, The Possibilities Are Endless for Koharu and Eevee, had been revealed. Koharu's arc has been meh. Not to be overly cynical, who doesn't like Eevee? But man. People are nostalgic about Misty, but honestly, before she became competent off screen as a gym leader, she hung around for 275 episodes. And the most exciting thing I could say about her was Psyduck. Psyduck was epic. However, before she became a robot in Johto, she at least had a sometimes nasty personality that was fun to watch when she and Ash bickered like brother and sister. Then came three generations of Poke Contest girls. I will get to Iris in a minute. These girls had personalities, goals, and growth. Iris was a new Misty, minus the Psyduck, but at least we saw her grow on her journey with Ash. Too bad her montage to finally decent trainer to full blown Unova champion was off screen. Still, something. Ash's three girlfriends in Alola all had something going for them. Lily had the arc of overcoming fear of Pokemon, dealing with a neglectful mother, and now reunion with her dad. Mallow had a bubbly personality and was already meeting her goal by helping out her family's restaurant. The episode where Shaman got her to talk to her late mother was dope. Lana was kind of the weaker link, but she had a prankster personality that could make you laugh. And who could forget her battle against Guzma and how underhanded he was? Koharu started out promising. She was a girl who didn't dislike Pokemon, as May did at first, but she also wanted to be more than just the daughter of a professor. As the companion manga to Journey showed, she was a girly girl who fit into any anime based on school life. She had friends at school and talked about things in a cute diary way. She was Go's only friend and understood him. The two hyperactive 10-year-old Pokemaniacs was a little much though for her, referring to Ash and Go, as the first intro showed, and she would need space. A Pokemon trainer she was not. Therefore, she was not the third member of a trio. The second intro showed her coming around, and by the third, she was used to and enjoyed Ash and Go's company, eccentricities and all. When she did show up, it seemed like the writers were coming around with a way to make her presence felt, and any appearance now would get character growth and maybe a goal. That's what I thought at the time. That's what I think a lot of people were thinking. So what went wrong? She went from a bubbly character who stood by Go in their younger years to the instrument to introduce what I speculated was the case as soon as she got Eevee, the person who helped advertise Generation 9 Eevee, in the process showing us all the earlier forms. This is a problem. Yes, Eevee is comparatively as popular as Pikachu, but let's break it down. It had a very good intro episode in Kanto, where we met all its evolutions and learned of their unique traits, and also learned it's okay for it to stay as an Eevee. Orange Islands, we learned Gary had one and performed well in battle too. So far, so good. With Johto, we knew we would see more Eevee stuff, what with the introduction of the games of Umbreon and Espeon. Sure enough, the writers cleverly introduced Umbreon as the Eevee Gary beat Ash with, all growed up. We then met the Eevee sisters, in contrast to the Eevee brothers from Kanto, also characters from the actual games. And in Sakura, actually had a returning character in another episode and in Journeys. Espeon would be her evolution. I'm not going to go into every Eevee/evolution appearance, but continuing on to the main point. May later got an Eevee. Okay. I mean, who doesn't like Eevee? It would be the doorway to Glaceon once May returned in Sinnoh. Then came Unova, and the tournament victor who was an Eevee/Evolution trainer. Kinda getting a little old, but whatever. Then Serena got an Eevee, which became her Sylveon. Then Lana got the messy furred Eevee and Alola. And in 2020, the writers decided that with all of that, and Let's Go Eevee in the not too distant past, that Koharu's goal would be to get an Eevee and rehash all the past evolutions before the Gen 9 reveal. Not trying to be a Scrooge, as it has been cute and charming to see how Eevee has learned things from its evolutions and how that has culminated in the Serena Return episode. But come on. And that's the thing. This is what Koharu does. She promotes an overused Pokemon and shows off its overused evolutions. When she does appear, the writers also just kind of tend to have her do small things, like help Ash and Go feed the laboratory Pokemon. Not much else. Wasted opportunity. Which leads me to my main point. At first, I was happy to see this episode title because it showed the writers didn't necessarily have it planned out to rush through the entire Masters 8 tournament just for the Koharu Eevee story, not to mention Project Mew. Who knows how many episodes that'll take up. And the title seems to imply Koharu's story could be done in one episode. We don't know yet if the tournament will take a break for a day or if this is one of those Aksu gets lost kind of fillers. But what irks me is that this will air 2 weeks after the Ash Steven episode, which by the way confirms that all 4 early battles will only be 1 episode 3v3s. What the actual? We will only have 3 episodes after a 3-week gap. After that, another gap? Are you kidding me? This will only allow for about 14 episodes or so for the last 3 battles. Not to mention wrapping up Project Mew. Confirming the fast-paced nonsense will likely not be over. I mean, this is an opportunity for a truly epic tournament, and see if the writers are rushing through things for things like the frankly unexciting Eevee story is a real bummer. Journeys has been going on since November 2019. These loose ends shouldn't still be dangling so close to November 2022. And that was my original post. So what I'm getting at is building on what I've talked about in the past. They're rushing through this tournament. I don't really understand why they feel the need to make the first 4 battles, which are supposed to be the strongest Pokemon trainers on the planet, just 3v3s that are resolved in 1 episode. So for everyone who was upset about, Leon versus Alon, I'm not going to ask you to hold your breath for the next 3 battles. They're probably also going to be one-sided. Maybe they'll actually be decent. They'll pull this off, but the probabilities don't look great. Now, with that said, we are going to be in August. We're going to have this Koharu episode. And like I said, we'll have about 14 episodes until the new games are out. Let's say Project Mew takes up, it's the finale of it, at least 2 or 3 episodes. That's just 11 episodes for the rest of the tournament. And we'll have 3 battles to look forward to. At best, we might actually get each one, a 3-parter 6v6, for both the semifinals, and maybe the final will be a 4-parter, like Ash versus Kukui. But like I've said in other videos, if they are planning on wrapping up Ash's story, that's still a very condensed amount of time. And with so many things I would love to see that will make a 6v6 that you could in theory get wrapped up in 2 episodes without interruptions, it's a shame because there's so many things I would like to see that are going to make it a 3-parter by necessity or 4-parter. Like I may have brought up in some past videos, I'm going to make it very clear here. The trailer shows Oak, Dalia, Tracy, and some of Ash's Pokemon in the audience. I mean, for the Steven battle, fine. I expect to see all of the friends he's ever made. And some of the characters of the day that we never thought we'd see again who we did, like Richie or something. I expect to see them in person, not just watching on a television screen. I expect to see them in the audience. I don't know if we can expect to see all of his Pokemon in the audience. Imagine Snorlax in the stands. But at least cut away to seeing them watch Ash. I don't really think we're going to get that, and I want to be wrong. But the point is, as I said before, they're treating this basically as this series equivalent of a Pokemon League. And not even necessarily, from what it looks like, necessarily the longest. Alola will be very close to beating it with that. Not even necessarily most exciting with the way they're treating these battles. And it all just comes down to so much time they've wasted. So, with so few episodes left, to see this thing where, again, I was excited to see, oh, well, we're getting this break. So we know they're not just going to necessarily rush through this. So by October, they wrap up other things. They're going to do it piecemeal, which is fine. But it was that 1 week break that I saw that really got to me. It's like we're just coming back from a 3 week gap, 3 episodes before that. Really? Um, and for what? What it comes down to is if you're a Koharu fan, I'm not trying to upset you. She's a nice girl, but honestly, she's probably the weakest main character Poke Girl we've had, if you can even call her a main character, ever, honestly, for all the reasons I listed in my post. And the whole thing with shopping around with Eevee is dull. It's boring. Unless this is your first time watching Pokemon, which it could be. Sword and Shield could be your first Pokemon game, and that's fine. But for a lot of us, this isn't, you know, this isn't our first rodeo. We've seen Eevee and all of its evolutions. We've seen Eevee many times with our other of Ash's companions. It's just such a lazy plot device. They know Eevee's going to cash in. It's very simple, auto write. There's just no effort in this. Um, it really just feels like a waste of our time. And that comes from someone who does like Eevee and doesn't dislike Koharu as a character per se. At the end of the day, what can I say? Um, Journeys is going to have to pull off Law of Miracles as far as a very interesting story with the remaining episodes they have. And their back is against the wall. I definitely consider myself someone who has had criticisms of the series, but doesn't hate it like a lot of the fandom does. And they've got to do everything right going on out if they don't want to be people's dead last of the 8 series, if you count Johto separate from Kanto. Um, they've got a lot of work to do, and they're not really looking like they're rising to the occasion. Yeah. Anyway, that's about it from me for now. See you guys later.